welcome to 30 Things. Today's topic for discussion is if you could be a kind of animal, what would you be and why? Now, I've always been very attracted to sharks, specifically the great white shark. And so I think if I were to be an animal, that's what I would be, or that's the animal that I most associate with. Mostly just because I feel like great whites are they're very powerful, very beautiful, majestic creatures, really, but they're very misunderstood and very misrepresented. And I think that that's something that happens to me as well. Not that I'm saying, like, I'm beautiful and majestic and all of that, but I do think that I carry myself well and I'm good at the things that I do, but that because my image doesn't fit the social norm, my hair is a bit crazy today, but anyway, but just because I don't fit into the social norm and that I don't always agree with the conventional ideas about things, and sometimes I say kind of off the wall stuff, it it reminds me of like a shark in that sort of a way. And I can also be quite vicious, like a shark can be. And sometimes if I get a hold of something, I just can't let it go, just like a shark does. When they smell the blood and they get into this sort of feeding frenzy mode from bloodlust. Not that I'm violent or anything like that, but I do, and I think that they're very old creatures. I consider myself kind of having like an old soul, and I don't know. I'm very drawn to them. They're kind of rough on the outside. I'm not gonna say they're warm and fluffy on the inside, but I'm very rough on the outside as well. I can be quite prickly and quite cynical and just a bit argumentative and whatever. But I think like a shark, I'm usually quite tranquil and I just kind of go about my own thing. I try not to look backwards too much. Sharks can't go backwards, so I think that's quite similar to me as well. And I really like them. I feel a connection, and I sort of feel like sharks are like my soul animal, specifically the great white shark. And I remember I was very sad when I saw the movie Jaws because I knew that that was a bit something that brought sharks to the public attention in a way that nobody really thought about them too terribly much before that, unless it came up. But it really made people afraid of them, and that made me very sad because I think that I felt a certain kinship with the shark that was in that movie. I mean, I understand that in Jaws, the shark was supposed to be like calculating and evil, but sharks aren't really like that. And so when I watched the movie, I never really saw that. I would just see a shark, have the opportunity to have all this food, and then it took it, and everybody was hunting it down all of a sudden. And I thought that was quite sad because it's like, why are you going to attack somebody for doing something that's natural to them? And that's how I feel what happens to me a lot as well, is that, like, when I was younger and I was very into sharks, I was told that that wasn't okay because I was a girl. And I had short hair as well, and then they said, no, you shouldn't do that, you're not a boy, or are you a boy, whatever. And that really hurt my self-confidence, and it I stopped liking sharks for a really long time because I thought that wasn't okay. But the more I think about it, the more that I feel a very certain kinship with the great white shark for being attacked for the very things that are natural to it. It was natural for me to be like that, and I was always having to justify it. And uh, unlike a shark, I could sort of change that, I guess you could say, to suit what society wanted me to do, but I didn't want to, and in the end, it wasn't healthy for me and took me to a place that I don't want to be. So I've decided from now on to embrace my shark and to in order to be happy. Because I mean, that's the only things that people really wish for in the end, isn't it? To be successful so that they can then be happy. And I think that sharks are both, and I hope that I too can be both successful and happy, just like sharks are. So, yes, if I was an animal, I think I would be a great white shark, and that was why. So there you go. That's the animal that I think I would be. Alright, until I see you in the next installment, I love you, and bye.